send shockwaves around the entire planet. In 1960, the biggest earthquake ever recorded rocked Chile. Thousands died, and the landscape of the country changed forever. But scientists believe a far more destructive quake could be on Chile's horizon. Don Windler is an expert in modeling disasters of the future. Using data from the giant 1960 quake and input from some of the world's leading seismologists, Windler and his colleagues have created sophisticated models of potential earthquakes in Chile, including the ultimate worst-case scenario.
There's no stopping the Nazca plate from going underneath South America. We will continue to see large events over time in Chile. It's just a fact of life.
The massive 1960 earthquake struck in the center of the country, where the population was relatively light. But if the Nazca Fault ruptured further north, near to Chile's largest cities, a major catastrophe would result.
We're going to expect to see a lot more economic loss, a lot more casualties resulting from this event.
Valparaiso is one of Chile's major ports and home to its navy and houses of parliament. The city sits in an amphitheater facing the ocean. Most of its 270,000 inhabitants live on the steep hills above and are carried to their homes by unique machines called funiculars. Just up the coast from Valparaiso is the tourist resort of Viña del Mar, famous for its beaches and luxury hotels. Valparaiso and Viña del Mar are both part of Chile's most valuable stretch of land. If hit by a major earthquake, the nation would be ravaged.
Just that one area from Valparaiso across the country through Santiago metropolitan area contains over 50% of the property value for the country of Chile. And any kind of event that has significant, serious damage to that area is going to have repercussions to the economy of the country.
Windler's nightmarish scenario begins 27 kilometers under the earth and 80 kilometers off the coast in the collision zone between the Nazca and South American plates. A stress point snaps, starting a chain reaction. More than 1,400 kilometers of the subduction zone rip open like a zipper. Massive seismic shockwaves spread from the rupturing rock. The primary waves speed out at 29,000 kilometers per hour. The arrival of the P waves in Valparaiso feels like a long sonic boom. Windows and buildings shudder. Some of the P waves shoot up into the atmosphere, emitting a frightening roar. The secondary waves follow, carrying most of the earthquake's energy. Some surface waves shake the ground from side to side, twisting railway lines and shattering concrete structures. Buildings are shaken from their foundations. Unstable areas of the cliffs surrounding Valparaiso collapse, taking many buildings with them. Below in the port, sediments amplify the seismic energy, prolonging the shaking and the destruction. Liquefaction ruptures gas mains, water pipes, and vital communication links. In addition to the deadly seismic waves, the earthquake rupture releases pressure on the South American plate. It pushes forward and flattens. Areas of the coast sink 2 meters. Entire structures collapse and flooding is rampant. Fires caused by broken gas mains rage out of control. As the city lies paralyzed and in ruins, the biggest killer of all is about to strike. As the South American plate is released and flicks upwards, it pushes up an enormous wave of water 967 kilometers long. Gravity quickly pushes it back, creating a massive wave, a tsunami. One side of the wave rushes towards the coast of Chile. It takes just 10 minutes to reach Viña del Mar. It hits the already besieged city with a 12-meter wall of ocean that smashes across the city. Thousands more lose their lives. The city is devastated. But the giant earthquake's deadly reach extends far beyond Chile. The same tsunami that pulverized Viña del Mar speeds across the Pacific for thousands of kilometers. Hours after the quake, huge waves strike New Zealand, Hawaii, and Japan. The west coast of the USA and the Philippines will also be hard hit. Chile's mega earthquake is now a global disaster.
Taking the 1960 earthquake, this massive magnitude 9.5, and moving it closer to Valparaiso and Santiago is something that's not likely to happen anytime in the near future. It's highly unlikely. But at the same time, given what we know about Chile's tectonics and its past history, it's very difficult to exclude that from saying that it can't occur.
Chile's mega disaster will probably not happen within our lifetimes, but scientists believe a major city will be struck by a devastating earthquake.
We're setting ourselves up for larger catastrophes should an event occur near one of those cities.
Experts agree that while it's impossible to prevent an earthquake, it is possible to prepare for one.
There are really many things we don't know about earthquakes, but we do know one thing. The way to avoid disasters is to be prepared for them. When there is no surprise, there is no disaster.
Danger is that if we're not prepared, if we don't prepare our cities for the hazard that exists, they'll be hell to pay.
Half the world's population now lives in cities, placing hundreds of millions within striking distance of an earthquake. For all of them, the clock continues to tick on these giant underground time bombs.